There we go. Fix that. Alright, don't know what's happening. Looks like it's not going, so let's double check on here. I could be wrong. Okay. And it looks pretty good from what I can see. Alright. And we're live! Thank you for joining me. This is Noided at Night on Breezy Bee. This is Noided at Night on Breezy Bee, live from the Rocky Mountain area, coming to you wherever you are, whether you're in the North, South, Central, East, Americas, whatever, we're coming to you live. Alright, today's going to be a little interesting. Going to start with some interesting, strange stories, and then we're going to get into a little bit more serious stuff. So let's go ahead and just jump in. Hope everyone's doing good today. So this is kind of a fun story that I wanted to cover. Photographers are on a mission to fix Wikipedia's famously bad celebrity portraits. So before I even get into the text of the article, I want to talk a little bit about these celebrity portraits because it's something I have a little bit of specialized knowledge in. Because one of the things about capitalism and one of the things about these portraits specifically is that these portraits are one of the few they have to be Creative Commons and they have to be basically royalty free for Wikipedia to use any of these photos. So what's interesting about Wikipedia photos is that for a long time they've been really, really bad photos because the only photos of celebrities that are publicly available tend to not exactly be great. So that's why you have a lot of photos like this of Scott Baio as his Wikipedia photo, is because it has to be from a Creative Commons or from some unlicensed royalty free area. So that way basically there's a big industry of photographers for celebrities, and they will come down hard on you if you are not using royalty, if you are using their photos, even if it's for educational purposes. Oh, whoops. Actually, I might have to find another version of this story. Because it does not look like this actually works. Because let's see, how can I... Let's go ahead and... I don't know what to do. I guess we'll have to skip this story. But I have another fun one, so let's go ahead and move on. But basic gist, if you're a celebrity... Basically, what's happening here is that Wikipedia has really bad celebrity photos, and this celebrity photo project is a small initiative where these people have gone and taken photos of celebrities because it's so hard to find good royalty-free photos. So what's funny about this to me, and really indicative about capitalism about this to me specifically, is that like because there's such a cottage and because like photographers and because like magazines and media executives that are already rich can make so much money off of stuff like this, off of like selling photos of celebrities, that things like Wikipedia suffer because people need to make their money. Even if it's like a small royalty free, people need to get their bag. And, it's just one of the bad things about capitalism. But unfortunately, can't get too deep into that story because, as you can tell, can't get into the website. So let's move on. This is a weird one. Italian soccer club Lazio fires Falconer for posting photos of his penis implant. Rome, according to the AP, Lazio, a soccer team in Italy, has fired the man who handled the Italian soccer club's eagle mascot after he posted photos and videos online of his own prosthetic penis. Side note, Elon Musk actually also has a prosthetic penis that probably did not go as well as far as the surgery is concerned. Falconer Juan Bernabe shared the images on his private social media accounts after undergoing surgery for a penile implant, which he said was for non-medical reasons. I think he's just trying to have a lot of sex. Burnaby also gave an interview to controversial Italian radio show La Zanzara on Monday and elaborated on his reasons for undergoing the procedure. Burnaby added that he felt very proud and more masculine being part of Lazio. The Serie A club clearly did not feel the same as it fired the Spaniard shortly after. Because big pee-pee mean manly. Shocked to see the photographic images and video of Mr. Juan Burnaby and to read the statements that accompanied him, Lazio announces that it stopped with immediate effect all relationships with this person given the seriousness of this behavior, the Capital Club said in a statement. The club realizes and shares the pain that fans will feel at the loss of the Eagle in the next home game, but believes it is not possible to be associated with the person who, by his own initiative, has made the continuation of the relationship unacceptable. So homie just likes to have sex and unfortunately said it in a too public of a space and ended up getting fired from his job. Let's keep going just in case there's something interesting and weird. The eagle, a bird that symbolizes ancient Rome, traditionally flies over Stadio Olimpico before home games. Bernabe said he had no regrets about sharing the images. Lazio suspended Bernabe in 2021 when he was filmed for performing a fascist salute at the end of a match and chanting Duce, Duce, which was the name used to praise former fascist Italian leader Benito Mussolini. I admire him so much, Bernabe said in Monday's radio interview. Okay, so homie was a fascist, not necessarily just... no body shame, no kink shame, no sex shame here at Noided at Night, but I will say, this does... you can't have a good sex life and be a fascist, is what I'm saying. You can't be a fascist and also be as sex positive as this guy says he appears to be. So there's got to be something weird. Actually, let's see if we can find some of his interview. Let's get his name over here. Sorry to give you a little preview of what's happening in a little bit, but what are you gonna do? Lazio. Lazio radio fired. Let's see. Alright, let's go. Ha ha ha. Oh, knob. These are the photos! These are what it looked like! Oh my god! uh... I'm kind of exactly the opposite. I feel like we should be allowed to show what we want on social media, but I feel like performing a fascist salute is not okay. Sacked. Perfect word for this. And part of the reason I wanted to talk about this is because of Musk and his weird penis thing that he's got going on. But I think I have a little bit more Tesla things to get into. So, stolen Tesla drives into Calgary's Bow River. Let's see what we... Let's go! Let's go! Get wrecked, Elon! It's so satisfying to see that car get ruined, isn't it? Love to see it, folks. Crews are working to pull a Tesla believed to be stolen from the Bow River after it drove in early Tuesday morning. Police say they received a call about a vehicle driving into the river near the Graves Bridge boat launch at 4:48 a.m. CTV News spoke with a witness who called 911 about the incident. He said he saw two cars driving up and down the riverbank when one of them drove into the river. It sparked a large response from first responders with water rescue, fire crews, police, and paramedics all attending. Police said the driver likely fled after the vehicle went into the river. By about 11:30 a.m., crews had managed to haul the vehicle out of the water. Isn't this great? Don't you love to see this? So, not only can Elon's weird mechanical penis can get wrecked, but so can his cars. Let's go. Alright, we're gonna get a little serious for a minute here. Gonna talk about some more serious stuff happening right now. If you've been following American politics at all, you know that the situation is kind of dire, especially as we see with people like Elon Musk. And I don't know how much background you have about this new Senate bill the new Senate resolution, Senate budget that's about to get passed. Hopefully it doesn't get passed, but it is devastating to most people. And the thing about it is that Democrats it looks like they're getting ready to fold and avoid a government shutdown so that way we can continue doing this wholesale sale of our government. So Democrats look like they're not doing anything. Slap in the face. Democrats rage at Chuck Schumer after his shutdown fold. Earlier today, Chuck Schumer actually said that it would be better for us to avoid a shutdown than to actually stay and fight to make life better for the American people during this all-out attack on our government. The Democrat-on-Democrat criticism of the Senate Minority Leader came from across the party's ideological wings. Democrats across the ideological spectrum are sharply criticizing Minority Leader Chuck Schumer for caving on his threat to block a Republican bill to avert a government shutdown. Schumer on Wednesday said Democrats would filibuster this legislation, but then on today, revealed that he himself planned to vote for it, signaling that the filibuster likely wouldn't happen at all. So basically what he did is he tried to say that he was going to fight for us and tried to say that he was going to do something and block this bill and filibuster it like the filibuster is meant to, and then he just gave up. Said it was too much work and decided to stop. Not great. Not great. Representative Sean Casten, a member of the moderate New Democratic Coalition, compared Schumer unfavorably to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. McConnell abused the filibuster to make America worse. Schumer is refusing to use the filibuster to accomplish what exactly? And that's my question too. What exactly does Chuck Schumer think he's going to accomplish by not filibustering and basically giving up the only leverage that Democrats even have? I think it's a huge slap in the face, and that's why there's a wide sense of betrayal, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a leading progressive, told reporters. Democrats unwilling to stand up for Congress's constitutional right to prevent Trump from unilaterally shutting down Social Security offices or firing veterans is craven, Rep. Ro Khanna. Or there was a recent interview with Ro Khanna on Dr. Phil's weird Merit TV thing where he called him Roy Kahana. So just something funny that I saw the other day. Democrats unwilling to stand up for Congress's constitutional right to prevent Trump from unilaterally shutting down Social Security offices or fighting veterans is craven, Representative Roy Kahana, another progressive, said on social media. If we're afraid of blame, we need to get better at persuasion, not rolling over. That's exactly right. Ro Khanna actually has a really good point here. Democrats need to get better at fighting, they need to get better at persuading, and they need to get better at not rolling over. Because as soon as you roll over, that's when the battle's over. What are you doing? You're in control of the narrative. You have the ability to persuade these people. Let's keep going, though. The House passed the bill on Tuesday with all Democrats except Representative Jared Golden out of Maine voting against the measure. The vote was a rare feat of Sorry, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble talking right now. The vote was a rare feat of unity for Republicans, with even far-right members who hate government spending lining up behind House Speaker Mike Johnson and President Donald Trump, who threatened to punish dissenters. So that's not exactly super accurate, because one thing about the Republican Party in comparison to the Democratic Party is the Republican Party is always in lockstep with each other. That's why they're so successful at all of these awful bills that they try to pass all the time. It's because they're always in lockstep with each other. And really, this is just in line with their strategy to punish dissenters whenever anything bad happens. All eyes then turn to the Senate, where Democrats have the power to block the bill since it takes 60 votes to pass legislation and Republicans hold only 53 seats. So basically, there's a total of 60 votes that you need. Republicans have 53 of those 60 votes, and you know for sure that they're all going to vote for it because Republicans always in lockstep. So Democrats could very easily use their leverage and their power here to actually get something done. The threat of a filibuster and a subsequent government shutdown represented one of Democrats' few points of leverage to check Trump and his billionaire advisor, Musk. So like I said, one of the few points of leverage that Democrats actually have. And they're just blowing it. Or at least Chuck Schumer's blowing it. I don't know what's happening with him. Anyways. Even though Musk and Trump have been unilaterally canceling congressionally mandated spending and flattening federal agencies. Just a side note here, those same federal agencies are actually people who are saying a government shutdown would be better than passing this bill. So, let's keep going. Schumer reckoned that a government shutdown would only give them more leeway to do what they wanted. In a shutdown, it would be up to the Trump administration to determine which personnel and policies count as essential and are allowed to continue. As Chuck Schumer said, a shutdown would give Donald Trump the keys to the city, the state, and the country, Schumer said on the Senate floor when he announced his decision. But nobody really knows how a shutdown would be different this year than in years before. Other Democrats have said not shutting down the government would have essentially had the same result that Chuck Schumer described. For example, Chris Van Hollen told reporters on Wednesday that the House bill provides, in my view, a continuing blank check to shut down the government agencies as they're doing right now. So basically, when you look at the legislation that the Republicans are talking about and the budget bill that they're looking at passing, you're looking at a bill that will allow Donald Trump to basically use the federal funding however he wants, even if it's not how Congress allocates it. So we need to do a shutdown basically so that way this bill can't pass and that way Donald Trump can't get the power to use the government as his own personal slush fund. Why do I even need to say this? The legislation funds the government until September. It omits language Democrats had sought to prevent Trump from continuing his efforts to stifle spending. Its harshest provisions will force the city of Washington, D.C. to cut around 5% from its budget, potentially meaning layoffs for hundreds of teachers and police officers. It's kind of funny. Like, I know that Democrats are going to come out and say that, look, Republicans are the ones that are talking about defunding the police. But really, not only are they defunding the police, they're defunding actual useful agencies and actual useful people like teachers who are teaching kids during the day when everyone is working. What's going to happen if we defund all of these teachers and then no one's able to teach our kids? Our education system is already in shambles. It can only get worse from here, especially if we don't do something like a shutdown and give people some kind of win. It's crazy. Past government shutdowns, on the other hand, have resulted in thousands of federal workers being sent home without pay, with interruptions to non-essential functions such as food inspections, customer service at national parks, and benefits verification at the Social Security Administration. I know that it's just a technical thing here, and that's why that they're considered non-essential. But isn't it wild that in America, food inspections and verification for Social Security, money for people to survive who can't make an income, is considered non-essential? Isn't that kind of like an evil thing that we do as a country? Anyways. Of its own initiative, of course, the Trump administration has been sending workers home and considering potentially major alterations to the way Social Security interacts with beneficiaries. The limited public polling indicates voters were set to blame Republicans for the shutdown. A Quinnipiac University survey released Thursday found that just 32% of registered voters would have blamed congressional Democrats for a shutdown, while 31% would have blamed congressional Republicans and 22% would have blamed Trump. So, what exactly is Chuck Schumer gaining by not doing a shutdown anyways? It sounds like if they were to force a shutdown and actually stand up against this vote, that people would be blaming Republicans anyways. So why get on your high horse about not blaming Republicans, about like saving people, when really you're not getting anything out of it? People are gonna blame Republicans. Historically, I think, and I could be wrong here, but I think historically people tend to blame whoever is in office, whether it be a Democrat or Republican, for anything like a shutdown or any kind of like negative impacts like that. So Democrats have to know this. It's just negligence at this point. On social media, sorry, too many Italian stories today. On social media, a wide range of liberal pundits, including many frequently loyal to the Democratic Party, called for a primary challenge to Chuck Schumer, who is not up for re-election until 2028. The criticism did not come exclusively from the party's left wing. Stephanie Feldman, a longtime aide to former President Joe Biden, did not directly name Schumer, but suggested on social media that Democrats were doing little but giving up congressional authority. The shutdown is already happening. It is called Trump and Musk's demolition of our government, she wrote. The question is whether Congress will cede its remaining checks on the powers of the president. Yeah, exactly. So basically, what we have here is we have a situation where Democrats could actually I hate being this repetitive, but Democrats are kind of forcing me to do it. Like, really, we're in a situation where Democrats have a small opportunity to force a shutdown, get people mad at Republicans, and actually stop this bill and this funding from getting approved. And instead, Chuck Schumer is like, nah, fuck that. Instead, let's just roll over, let's show them our belly, let's give up, and let's not fight for anything. Don't know what to tell you. Especially when Doge already exists and they're already doing these cuts without congressional approval. What are we doing? They're fighting so dirty that it's not even on the map the type of dirty fighting they're doing. And Democrats aren't doing anything. Alright. Maybe I'm going a little too harsh, but let's just keep going. Among the few Democrats willing to defend Schumer was Adam Jentison, a former top aide to Senator John Fetterman and the late Harry Reid, who argued Democratic leverage in the moment is minimal. Schumer is right. Dems are understandably spoiling for a fight, but this was not it, Jentison wrote on social media. The idea that there is leverage in a shutdown was magical thinking. It'd be a gift to Doge. More people would be hurt, and it would have ended with a worse deal. Why? Just why? I don't get it. Why? They're already doing the thing. We have an opportunity to do a thing that would stop them from doing the thing, so let's not do the thing that would stop them from doing the thing and just let them do the thing. What? Alright. Sorry. Speaker Johnson adjourned... Sorry, can't read today. Speaker Johnson adjourned the House after Republicans approved the bill on Tuesday, sending representatives home from Washington. House Democrats headed to the nearby Leesburg, Virginia for an annual retreat billed as an issues conference. Lawmakers looked at their phones Thursday afternoon, eager for news about the Senate vote and anxious that their colleagues would cave. We keep hearing this mandate language when in fact the election was far closer than people give it credit for, and at the end of the day we're basically an evenly split nation, Representative Yvette Clarke, chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, told HuffPost. And right now we're being forced by a slim majority in the House of Representatives to eat what they're dishing out, and we're not willing to do that. Yeah, we can't do that. It's really crazy. Like, I just don't understand what Democrats are doing right now, because it sounds like they actually have leverage. So that's really the main thing right now that's super upsetting to me, is that, like, we have leverage right now. And the other part is this. I want to highlight here. We keep hearing this mandate language when in fact the election was far closer than people will give credit to. Greg Palast is a journalist who has been doing elections research for a long time. And one of the things that I've seen him talk about a lot is how this election was actually stolen, but Democrats aren't doing anything about it. So what was happening at the polls is that... I'll actually just pull up a video about it and see if we can learn a little bit more that way. Basically, just to sum it up, there was election fraud, and it was racist election fraud at that. Let's see. Is there a short video? Perfect. Let's go. This Tom Hartman clip is great and really explains everything about like what Greg Palast has been doing. Essentially, this election was a lot closer than people think it was, and it's because of racist election interference and voter roll purges. Oops, my bad. I need to restart this video. Whoops, big mistake. Let's see, where is unmute? Oops, my bad. I can't imagine this part's fun, but I'm almost done, so...
And this new challenge thing is what I'm really worried about.
There we go.
So,
all right, we're good.
Greg,
we're good.
Before we move along,
sure.
Have we missed any techniques that Republicans are using to suppress the vote?
Well, I would say again, this new challenge thing is what I'm really worried about, and also spoiled ballots. Now, this is something where they say your ballot was uncountable, unreadable. This is not about Elon Musk fixing the vote counting machines from the tabulating machines from outer space. This is real simple. They challenge your vote because they say, "Oh, your signature didn't match." Now, these are not forgery experts, and not one person has been charged with forgery in the past election. But they removed several 100,000 mail-in ballots because signatures were challenged. Overwhelmingly, these are voters of color. In fact, you'll see a picture of one, Adrian Consonary.
And also elderly voters, because your signature changes as you age.
And they know who you are. You register your party, or they know by zip code, and they know by last name. 90% of the most common names in America are minority ethnic names like Johnson, Wien, and Hernandez.
So you heard it here. What Greg Palast is arguing is that basically they're doing racist voter purges because they can tell by last name. They could tell by last name like ethnicity, and then they're also doing like ageist voter polls because they know that Social Security is something that older people need. They're willing to cut their votes and cut their voices out of the conversation because they care that much about making that much more money.
And so they use that to challenge voters. They'll say, "Oh, some guy named Jose Hernandez moved out of Georgia to Texas, so he shouldn't be allowed to vote." Well, guess what? Jose Hernandez, maybe, some people think that that's a common name. It's not always a common name for a Republican. So they'll say Jose Hernandez in Georgia should not be allowed to vote because he's moved. It's a wonderful game that they play.
And suddenly there's 25 Jose Hernandezes in Georgia who all get purged, right?
238 guys.
What a coincidence,
James Brown
right?
were tagged for removal from the voter rolls.
Wow.
Because they said he keeps voting. Yeah, just in one state because he keeps voting again and again. James Brown. Doesn't matter that a lot of the middle initials didn't match. And when you look at these statistics, when you get the sheets, go ahead and sue in federal court and get this stuff from your state, as we've done in several states. We're still getting stonewalled, by the way. I'm going to have sharper numbers by next year. But I had to get these numbers from, again, the Elections Assistance Commission and the few states, secretaries of states that would give us the data. They are resisting us all the way because they know what I'm doing with these numbers. And I will be going to federal court, working with Black Voters Matter, working with Reverend Jackson and Rainbow Push to get these laws overturned, if not in the courts, because public opinion, most Americans actually think Americans should be allowed to vote. They have to lie. They have to say that black people cheat and vote multiple times and vote in multiple states. They have to sell this idea of the fraudulent voter. Well, show me the...
And that's the Democratic strategy. That's the Republican strategy. My mistake. The Republican strategy is they know that their positions are unpopular. So they have to figure out a way to frame it to make it feel like it's popular, because at the end of the day, to conservatives, the way that a thing feels matters way more than the factuality of that thing.
The fraudulent voters, and yes, arrest them, but where are they? All they do is, they just remove their ballots.
Well, every time they actually bust these phony voters, not every time, but it seems to me like 4 out of 5 times, they're white Republicans. I mean, they busted a bunch of them down in the villages.
Yeah, you get about 12 voters. In the entire United States population of a third of a billion, you get about 12 voters a year who do get charged with some type of voter fraud. And as far as I'm concerned, throw away the key. They're all, by the way, the 12, it's usually 10 are Republicans.
Exactly.
But it's like, I literally calculated that you are more likely to be struck by lightning than to cast an illegal ballot. And yet we're talking about literally millions of ballots which arrive to the voting offices and are rejected.
Yeah.
And especially the new thing, because the majority of Democrats in 2020 and almost a majority of Democrats, close to half, voted by mail.
There you go.
And so they made mail-in voting terrible.
I got to pause you right there. We'll be stick around, Greg.
Check out Tom Hartman's show. Check out Greg Palast. Check out all of his reporting about this election, because this is insane. We're a country that routinely talks about how unfair elections are in Venezuela, but we do stuff like this. Like, isn't this insane? And on top of it, we have moments like this where everyone in the public feels like this election can at least kind of have an idea that it feels unfair that people are doing this. And then you have Democrats who aren't doing everything in their power to stop it. How are you not supposed to feel powerless in this situation? Whoops, my mistake. History. AOC. breaks with Schumer on GOP funding bill. Alright, so this is just a video, but I want to watch it anyways because what I think is important here is that, like, so while you have people like Chuck Schumer, you also have people like AOC who are legitimately doing good things for the people of the United States, and who aren't running away from the fight.
The future of
ads. While the ad is playing, let's watch something trippy. Trippy, 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 trippy. Let's go. Doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie doo. Oh, Zempic. Doobie doobie doo. Only like 10 seconds left and then we'll get into it. How's everyone doing tonight? Having a chill one? Enjoying it? Oh, I see what's happening. It's making me watch the ad. Alright.
Democratic leader, your senator, Chuck Schumer, I guess the Senate Democratic leader, your senator, said at this meeting that he is going to vote for cloture. He is going to vote to allow there to be a simple majority vote. You think that's wrong?
I believe that's a tremendous mistake. Yes.
Why?
I think, well, first and foremost, the American people, if anyone has held a town hall or has seen what has been happening in town halls, American people, whether they are Republicans, Independents, Democrats, are up in arms about Elon Musk and the actual gutting of federal agencies across the board. This continuing resolution codifies much of this chaos that Elon Musk is wreaking havoc on the federal government. It codifies many of those changes. It sacrifices and completely eliminates congressional authority in order to review these impulsive Trump tariffs that he's switching on and off. And on top of that, for folks who are concerned about effectiveness in government, this Republican extreme spending bill removes all of the guardrails and all of the accountability measures to ensure that money is being spent in the way that Congress has directed for it to be spent. This turns the federal government into a slush fund for Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Exactly what I was saying. Thank you, AOC.
And it is deeply partisan. And so to me, it is almost unthinkable why Senate Democrats would vote to hand the few pieces of leverage that we have away for free when we've been sent here to protect Social Security, protect Medicaid, and protect Medicare.
What do you think of the job that Chuck Schumer is doing? Would you ever challenge him, do you think?
I think that what we need right now is a united Senate Democratic caucus that can
We need a united front.
stand up for this country and not vote for cloture and not vote for this bill. And I think that the strength that we have is in this moment. Reconciliation and all of these, Republicans do not need Democratic votes for that. They need it for this. And so the strength of our leadership in this moment is going to demonstrate the strength of our caucus. And I cannot urge enough how bad of an idea it is to empower and enable Donald Trump and Elon Musk in this moment. It is dangerous and it is reckless.
Well, you just talked about the strength of your leadership. Chuck Schumer just said that he's going to vote for cloture. Not only the Democrats can do it, but he's going to participate in it. Does that mean that you think he's a weak Senate leader?
I think that would be a mistake.
He is. In case you're wondering, he is.
But we have time between now and tomorrow, and I hope that individuals that are considering that reconsider it. I genuinely do. I don't think it's what New Yorkers want. I don't think it's what the country wants. This is genuinely not about Democrats or Republicans. This is about deep cuts to Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. This is about the evisceration of the federal government. This is about codifying the looting that is happening at the behest of Elon Musk in order to pay for his tax breaks for billionaires. And we have a responsibility to stand up for it. That is why people elected us, and that is our responsibility to them right now.
100%. 100%. AOC is one of the few real ones out there actually doing everything that she can to help us. Unfortunately, that's kind of the end of my stream. Those are the 5 stories that I have for today. I'll be back tomorrow with more. I'll have some clips ready for you guys later tomorrow, maybe even another one tonight. We'll see. Depends on how busy, or depends on like how the rest of tonight goes. But yeah, this is pretty much it for tonight. It was good being with y'all tonight. Really good seeing so many people coming out today. Hope to see even more people tomorrow, and as we stream more and as we get more and more clips ready and cut. Look forward to learning more with everyone. All right. Let's go. Stay vigilant and try not to get too noided, everyone.